What's up, my Ninja Warriors? This is the Ninja Warrior 21 here, bringing you guys Pokemon ORASOUOST Round 2. I'm going to be showing you guys my Round 2 OST matches versus Hellfire Vega, aka LucianVega. So this is my Game 1 match. And looking at this matchup, so I see Clef and I see Mew, and I'm like, okay, is this defog Mew? Because even if it is, I do have Taunt and Heatran. And like, if I get up hazards, that'll be really good. Cause like spikes are actually gonna destroy this guy, especially rocks as well. Cause rocks is really gonna pressure that Thundurus. I also do have Spadef Clefable, so I'm not necessarily worried about Thundurus. So as long as I play my Clefable and my Skarmory pretty well, I'm not necessarily worried about what could potentially happen here. So yeah, so he leads off of his Garchomp. I'm actually just gonna lead off my Clefable, as I'm basically gonna get rocks here, since I don't really see much loss by this play. As yeah, so he actually goes for the Earthquake, which is not to a kill, but I did a lot since I have no defense investment at all. As I said, I am Spadef Clef, so I have like no defense investment. As I believe I just heal here with the Moonlight. The reason I don't have Soft Boiled is because I'm unaware, and basically unaware Clefable cannot learn Soft Boiled. I mean, it's either Soft Boiled or Wish. And I'm actually Moonblast, T-Wave, Moonlight, and what's my last move again? I think it's like, I don't even remember. Or no, oh yeah, it was like Moonblast, T-Wave. Yeah, I don't. Actually, I can check it right now. Actually, I'm gonna check right now. Wait, let me check right now. Let's see. Where? Wait, am I T-Wave? Let me check. Oh, here it is. Oh, here are my set. Wait, no. Oh yeah, oh yeah, I'm actually, Stealth Rock Clef. Yo, yeah. So I'm Stealth Rock, Moonblast, T-Wave, and Moonlight. Sorry about that. So he goes Thundurus. As I guess predicting my Skarmory. So that was definitely a good play by my opponent, predicting my Skarmory by doubling into Thundurus. He definitely got me there. However, I can just go into Clefable, and again, I am Spadef unaware. Like meaning that even if he nasty plots, that's not even a threat to me at all, since I am unaware. As he goes for T-Bolt, which is fine, because that's gonna do literally 0, and I can just fire off a Moonblast pretty freely. So yeah, I'm in a pretty good position here, as he's gonna switch out into his Clefable. As I'm just gonna go for the T-Wave, because since now the reason I went for T-Wave is because I actually expected him to go into Metagross, predicting the Moonblast. And the thing is, he had to switch there. Like, he had to switch out his Thundurus. Like, because if he stayed in, I would have been able to easily beat him 1v1. I would have been able to easily, like, healed up versus him and, like, absolutely destroyed his Thundurus 1v1. And if I paralyzed Metagross, that would have been huge for me. Yeah, because that means that even after the Mega Evolution, like, my entire team outspeeds that thing, which would be really good. But I actually ended up getting Clef in the switch in. I mean, I'm fine with this, because Clef could have potentially been a threat. I mean, Clefable could have potentially been a nuisance with T-Wave, as he does go for the T-Wave. So it's a good thing I paralyzed Clef, because now I don't have to worry about this T-Wave as much. As I believe I just go for Spike here, because I want to be able to pressure that Metagross by being able to weaken it with these spikes. Because I want to be able to put his Metagross in range of my Mega Alakazam Shadow Ball, since that would definitely be huge for me. So I'm just gonna go right into Keldeo as he misses the Fire Blast. I mean, that miss didn't really matter at all, as I believe I just fire off a Scald. Or not, yeah, I just fire off a Scald here. I mean, in hindsight, maybe I should have Hydroed, but oh well. As I'm just gonna go into my Skarmory, since there isn't really much that Clef can do to Skarmory, barring Flamethrower. But even then, I can still roost that off pretty easily, even though I am Fizdef Skarmory. As he's gonna go right into his Mew. So at this point, I'm like, okay, is this defog? Because if it is, that would be a bit annoying. But oh well. So I'm just gonna go directly into my Heatran, since I do have Taunt and Heatran, and I know that my Heatran can beat this 1v1. As yes, she goes for a Taunt of his own. So at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna Magma Storm this thing, because if I could trap this thing, even if he has defog, that doesn't matter, because basically I'll be able to get rid of Mew. Meaning that even if he defogs, I can still get up rocks and spikes later on in the match. Unfortunately, I do miss Magma Storm, which is a bit unfortunate for me, since it means that I get to my Magma Storm PP is gonna get wasted. However, I can just taunt here. and there isn't really much that Mew can do after a taunt. He goes for a soft boiled, and he actually told me that he didn't have defog. So the fact that he didn't have defog was actually also pretty nice, as he's gonna go for another knockoff, which doesn't really matter that much. As a Mew is going to go down to another Magma Storm, which is pretty good, since that means that's like a big threat out of the way. So that's really nice. And at this point, I'm looking pretty decent. So he actually goes into Garchomp. Now I don't know why he went Garchomp. Maybe he thought I was Spadefran, because like you've already shown rocks. Like you've already confirmed that your Garchomp is Tank Chomp. So yeah, I really don't understand that play. He probably should have just gone into Keldeo there before sacking Garchomp, because he could have at least saved Garchomp as a sack versus my Mega Zam, since it would have definitely been a problem for my opponent. So yeah, I'm not sure why he made that play at all. That was definitely a misplay by him, since he could have, that would have been a really nice sack for him, as he actually doubles out into his Metagross. I'm assuming he was predicting Clefable there, as yeah, I'm just gonna go. I was actually going to Latios. Actually, I guess he was predicting Latios as well. Now at this point, I actually try to switch out here, but the thing is that his Metagross actually has Pursuit. Now this is actually a bit annoying. However, I still have my own Keldeo as well as Mega Zam for his own Keldeo, so I'm still not in a terrible position. Although I guess losing Latios is a bit unfortunate, as I am gonna get Pursuit Trap there. And I definitely like how he has Pursuit paired with Keldeo, as he's gonna go for Zen Headbutt here, trying to pair flinch me. At this point, I'm like, okay, please don't pair flinch me, because if he pair flinches me, that would be really annoying, and I do not want that to happen. Because the thing is that Shadow Ball is actually a roll from this range, and I want to be able to force this Metagross to switch out before the roll actually ends up happening. As fortunately, I do not get fully paired, as I'm able to get off the Roost. As he goes for yet another Zen Headbutt. This man's actually trying to pair flinch me. That's crazy. As I'm just gonna go for yet another Spike. Since these spikes are going to be able to wear down Keldeo by quite a bit. As unfortunately, I do get fully paired. I mean, I don't necessarily mind that though. I'm fine with that. As he goes directly into his Thundurus, probably as a last effort to try to kill my Skarm. But I'm not gonna stay in here. I'm just gonna go into my Clefable. I guess my opponent was probably hoping that he could crit Clefable. Maybe my opponent just didn't realize how bulky my Clefable was. Because as you can see, that T-Bolt did 0. Like that T-Bolt didn't do anything at all. As I can easily heal that out. As I believe my opponent was actually hoping for a crit there. I mean, fortunately he does not crit me though. That's pretty fortunate for me, as I'll be able to basically heal up yet again with the Moonlight, which is really good. It's because it basically means that my Thundurus counter is basically super healthy right now. As he goes for another Thunderbolt, as I will be able to break through the paralysis and get the roll with the Moonblast, allowing me to take him out, which is great, since it means that he's basically forced to go into Metagross. And what this basically means is that his Metagross basically takes the spikes damage that I need for Mega Alakazam's Shadow Ball to take him out, which is great. So I'm actually now the person who gave me this team was actually Angel Pichu. So yeah, shout outs to Angel Pichu for making this team. If you see him on Showdown, make sure to go ahead, say hi, and say that he's bottom 5 at Oras, and then I'm gonna beat him into the road to top 10 thing we're doing. Nah, I'm just kidding. Now I'm actually running synchronized Alakazam, because I actually accidentally had Mega Zam instead of regular Zam, because what you were supposed to do is you're supposed to have regular Zam, so that way you can actually change the ability to Magic Guard, so that way you don't take hazard damage. I mean, I don't think that hazard damage is really gonna end up mattering in this match at all though, as it doesn't really end up mattering at all, as I am able to Mega Evolve, take him out with the Shadow Ball, and now things are looking pretty bad for my opponent. As I'm gonna switch out my Mega Alakazam, go into Skarmory, knowing that his Clefable cannot be my Skarmory 1v1. As unfortunately for my opponent, he does get fully paired. As I'm just gonna go right for the Iron Head. I actually get a crit, and I get a flinch. That was really unfortunate for my opponent. I'm sorry about that, bro. Although I guess that's just part of the game. As I actually go for the Iron Head again, as I believe I actually flinch him again. I know I actually gets fully paired. I mean, those pairs and flinches were pretty annoying. Although I'm pretty sure that like even without the para hacks and like the flinches, as I actually get fully paired as he heals up. Even without the para hacks and the flinches, I'm pretty sure I still would have been able to have won. Because all I had to do was weaken Clef, so it was in range of my Mega Zam. Or I could taunt to a Heatran as well. because I think it definitely beat it. No, I'm actually gonna go Keldeo here, as he ends up going for the Hydro Pump, as it does like 35%. Now the thing here is that he's actually ends up being Scarf Keldeo, and this is actually a bit scary since Scarf Keldeo could potentially come back and win the game. I mean, maybe what I should have done here is I should have like sacked. I don't know. I mean, I probably should have just sacked Skarmory and then gone for the Scald, because if I stayed in and sacked Skarmory, I still had Taunt Heatran to win, and then there was literally a 0% chance of me losing to Scarf Keldeo. See, as unfortunately for my opponent, he does miss the Hydro Pump, which is huge, since he was Scarf and he could have potentially won the game if he had landed enough Hydro Pumps. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. That was pretty unfortunate, because basically, since he was actually modded Scarf, meaning that Alakazam died, Skarmory died, and I think Heatran died as well. So yeah, what I probably should have sacked. I mean, sacking Skarmory was probably the play there, since it would have basically meant that my Keldeo would have been able to have easily taken a Hydro Pump or two, no matter what, and it would have basically guaranteed me the win. Although I'm going to go for the Scald here. I actually ended up critting him a Scald. I don't think that crit really mattered, since I do have Taunt Heatran in the back, and Taunt Heatran basically beat this Clefable 100% no matter what happened. Like, even if he T-Wave parried my Keldeo, like, Taunt Heatran still would have been able to have easily beaten him once I ended up sacking one of my mons. I mean, Skarmory also beat him as well. So now I'm going to get on to my Game 2 match. As I'm actually using this team that Blaze Latias made. So yeah, shoutouts to Blaze Latias for this team. And I know that I'm not using my own teams, but that's fine. Yeah, cause like, I mean, I just really like Blaze Latias' team, which is the reason why I used it. And I thought it was a pretty solid team. I also really like Mega Nancy. I also kind of like how the team works together, especially with Tangrowth and everything. As my opponent actually has Mega Pinsir Sand plus Superior. Now, going into this match, I was like, okay, Mega Pinsir could potentially be threatening, especially if I let Mega Nancy get too low. So I definitely have to watch out for that. I also definitely have to weaken Rotom Wash, since that would definitely help out my Mega Diancie to sweep, since I'm actually HP Fire Diancie over Earth Power. And I kind of wish I was Earth Power, since I would have been able to have O-Code the T-Tar. And he also has a Pursuit Trapper, which does Pursuit Trap my Latios, which is definitely something that I had to be aware of this match, since I didn't want him to be able to Pursuit Trap me at all. So yeah. So I'm actually on the other side this time. Now let me get switch sides. So he leads off of the Superior. I'm gonna lead Diancie. Now I'm just gonna protect here, because basically, even if he subs here, I have an Assault Vest Sludge Bombing Tangrowth. So even if he subs here, like even if he was like sub Leaf Storm HP Ground, I wasn't really worried, since my Tangrowth would have been able to have beaten that thing 1v1. So I'm just gonna rather protect here, as he goes for the Glare, which is definitely a good play by my opponent, as I believe I'm just gonna go directly into Tangrowth, as my opponent is gonna go for the double Glare, which was definitely a good play by my opponent, predicting the switch. As he goes Pinsir, as I'm able to get a crit knockoff. I don't think that crit really mattered at all in the long run. I mean, like, it's kind of irrelevant. I'm actually going to go into Heatran, as he goes right for the return. Now here, so now I'm actually going to switch out into my Landorus Therian. Now in hindsight, I probably should have stayed in and Lava Plumed, but the thing is, I actually thought he would either CC or EQ here. But I mean, looking back on it, the Lando T was kind of obvious, and I probably should have just Leaf Stormed. I mean, I probably should have Magma Stormed, since the switch into Lando was so obvious, the chances were he was just going to double return, predicting the switch into Lando T. I mean, it was either that or he's going to double into Rotom. Yeah, I mean, doubling into Rotom would have definitely also been a good play by my opponent as well. But I mean, it's as he is able to return, as that return is a clean 2 KO, which really sucks for me. Now I'm actually going to save Lando T as Intimidate fodder, as I'm actually going to go into Diancie, since I figured that he wouldn't go for EQ there, and I figured Diancie was a pretty safe play. As he goes into Excadrill, as it actually goes, I'm just going to go for Diamond Storm. No reason to predict the Excadrill at this point, since I didn't want to like play too aggressively. I'm just gonna go to Latios, since Latios isn't really gonna be doing much this match, like, because basically I have like let's see, so I have Tank Growth as my I have Tank Growth as my Rotom Wash counter. I also have Tank Growth as my Rotom Wash counter. I also have Tank Growth as my Superior counter. So yeah, I figured that Latios was the most expendable member of my team, and I wanted to keep Lando T as the Intimidate fodder, which is definitely going to help me out later on. So I'm just gonna double into my Keldeo, expecting another Iron Head, as he actually switches into Tyranitar, which I kind of predicted. I thought he would go T-Tar to try to pursue trap me. Unfortunately, I do get that prediction right, as he goes into Rotom Wash. As I go for the Secret Sword. Now I am Scarf Keldeo, which is why Secret Sword isn't going to do that much. So that's a bit unfortunate for me. Now I'm just going to go Tank Growth, since I am paralyzed, meaning that Rotom Wash can't really do much to me. As he's going to go for the Volt Switch, as he's going to be able to get another free switch and a Pinsir. At this point, Pinsir's actually really scary for me, because basically I have very few switches to this thing. Like, because basically what I have to do here is I have to either sack Heatran or sack Lando. I mean, I guess alternatively I could sack Latios, but like I have to sack one of those 3 Mons, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, because Mega Pinsir is actually really threatening. So I'm just gonna go ahead and switch out, going into my Latios, since I figured that Latios is useless this game. It was the most expendable member of my team at this moment in time, and I'm definitely glad I sacked this thing. As I'm now gonna go to Mega Diancie. Now the thing here is that I'm actually gonna go for the HP Fire, predicting the Excadrill. Now the reason I make this play is because Sand actually runs out this turn, and I figured that my opponent would want to try to like go into Excadrill and like double into T-Tar to get up the Sand. And basically I didn't expect him to stay in with Pinsir and EQ or CC, because I felt like he needed Pinsir. Like Pinsir was so important for him that he just couldn't like risk it at all. Like I had a Keldeo and a Tank Growth that fit to this really well. So I'm gonna go for the HP Fire, as I am able to predict the Excadrill. I'm able to catch him off guard on the switch, which is really good for me, since I kind of needed to make a play like that in order to win. As I'm able to get rid of the Excadrill, which is great, since he has no more hazard control left. Although as I'm just gonna go to Tank Growth. Now the thing is that even though he has no more hazard control, there's nothing that I can get up Rocks versus. Like I can't really get up Rocks versus much. I mean, I guess I could have gone into Heatran and gone for Rocks here. Maybe that was a better play, looking back on it. But oh well. As I'm just gonna go right for the Leaf Storm. I mean, he goes right for the Leaf Storm, which is fine, as he goes for a double Glare. I mean, now the reason my opponent went for double Glare is because I'm pretty sure he was predicting Heatran. Yeah, because like he probably expected me to go into Heatran, predicting the HP Fire, so that way I can get up my Rocks. I mean, in hindsight, maybe that is what I should have done. Yeah, I just really thought that Heatran would have been able to have done something else this game. As I believe I just go for the Sludge Bomb here. I'm just gonna go for the Sludge Bomb here, as unfortunately I get fully paired. As he goes for the HP Fire, gets a crit. So at this point I'm like, oh crap, I lose. But fortunately, I am able to break through the para and get a crit. That was huge, as that crit basically allowed me to get rid of a huge threat to my team. Then again, I did get fully paired, and he crit me, so I kind of deserved that crit. As I'm able to get rid of Superior, which is a huge threat to my team, as back in comes the Pinsir. Now I'm going to go right into my Heatran, as he goes right for the return, as Heatran is honestly Death Fodder at this point. Like, Heatran isn't really going to be doing much at all. As I'm now just going to go into Diancie, click Moonblast, because I actually calced it, and Moonblast does like 78% min, I believe. Or, no, it does like 72% min, I believe. So, like, Moonblast actually kills this thing no matter what. And looking at his team, he has, like, no Fairy Resist. So, basically, something is going to die on my opponent's... one of my opponent's Pokemon is going to die this turn no matter what. Unless if he goes T-Tar and lives it. But even then, like, weakening T-Tar would just be nice in general. As he's just going to go into Lando, which is fine. As I'm going to go for the Moonblast, which is 59%. Now, as... What the hell? Wait, what the hell? Wait, shoot. Okay, let me stop this. I'm sorry about this, by the way. Yeah, I have no idea what just happened. I'm sorry. Wait, is this the turn I'm on? Oh shoot. Okay, wait, what time are, wait, shoot. So I'm gonna go for the Moonblast here. Now, the thing here is that the reason I went for another Moonblast is because I actually calced it, and Scarf Lando, Mega Anzi's Moonblast to Scarf Lando does 68% min. So I knew that he had to be defensive Lando T, judging by the damage rolls. Because basically, if he was offensive Lando T, that Moonblast would have 110% done more than 59%. So I knew he had to be bulky Lando T with rocks, which is why I stay in there and go for the Moonblast. As he goes into Tyranitar, as I'm just gonna hard switch into Keldeo, knowing that Keldeo can take any one hit that this thing has to go for. As I am gonna get buffeted by the sand. As he goes into his Rotom here, as I'm just gonna go right for the Sacred Sword, since I don't really care if he brings in Pinsir. I don't really mind that, since if he goes Pinsir, I can, because basically if he goes Pinsir, I literally, if he went Pinsir there, I literally just sacked Lando and then got a kill with Mega Anzi. Like no matter what, I would have been ahead score wise. As he's gonna go Rotom, as he's actually gonna double into Pinsir. Fair enough play by my opponent. As that Sacred Sword is gonna do 0. As again, like I have the perfect sack, which is Lando T. Because basically what Lando T does, it's basically lowers his Pinsir's attack, as well as being able to weaken his Pinsir a bit more of the sand. As I'm just going to right for the Moonblast, as he goes into Tyranitar, which was definitely a good play by my opponent, since it basically forced my opponent to save Rotom as Death Fodder, which is definitely going to help out my opponent later on. As my opponent's going to go right for the Stone Edge, and I knew by the fact that I knew he was Scarftar, judging by the fact that he went into it immediately versus my Mega Anzi. And the thing here is that Stone Edge is actually a roll versus my Mega Anzi. But the thing is that I actually want to put myself into the type of position where I do not have to risk the roll at all costs. Because I don't want to have to rely on a Stone Edge roll, which is why I'm just going to switch out into my Keldeo, I believe. Or no, I go into Tangrowth. Sorry, excuse me. I go into Tangrowth. I go into Tangrowth as Death Fodder, I believe, since Rotom is so low. Because like basically Rotom's at 23%, meaning that my Tangrowth, I don't even need my Tangrowth anymore, because Tangrowth already did its job. I'm just gonna sack Pinsir here, since it's my best possible play. I didn't really need Tangrowth, so I'm just gonna go into my Mega Anzi here. Now the thing here is that my opponent has to sack Rotom and then go into Tyranitar. So yeah, that's exactly what he does. So he goes right into Rotom, as I'm able to take him out with the Moonblast. As he goes into Tyranitar. Now this is actually a very key turn. Turn 31. Turn 31 was actually a really key turn. Because basically, if I stay in here and he takes me out with a Stone Edge, I lose, because then Mega Pinsir takes me out. So I have to switch into Keldeo. So I'm just gonna protect here, since I know he is Scarftar, and if he has EQ, I obviously lose. Now fortunately, he does not have EQ, which is really good for me, since it means that I do have a chance to win this game 2 versus LucianVega. Now the thing here is I have to go with into Keldeo, because I believe because Stone Edge actually does 28 to 33% to Keldeo, meaning that my opponent even with like a max roll Stone Edge, like even Sand plus max roll Stone Edge won't even take me out. Actually, it might. Yeah, actually, I think a max. Like, unless if my opponent gets a max roll Stone Edge versus my Keldeo will be able to live it, and then I'll be able to win the game. So yeah. I'm just gonna go for, as I'm just gonna switch into Keldeo, as my Keldeo is going to be able to take the Stone Edge to the face. So at this point, like, please live sand, please. As I lived the sand on 1, that was huge. Because if my opponent got a higher roll, I would have lost the entire game there. But I had to make that play. Now here is an even more. Now this turn of the match is actually even more important than that turn. Now basically, if I go for Scald and he sacks his Pinsir, I die to sand. and then it comes down to a roll versus my T-Tar and my Mega Dancy. But again, the thing is, I don't want to risk that. So I'm actually going to double into my Mega Pinsir, knowing that my opponent has to go into his Pinsir, so that way he can... because the only way my opponent can win is if it comes down to the roll, and my opponent knows that. So I'm going to double into my Mega Dancy, I'm hoping that he goes into Pinsir here, as he does go into Pinsir, as he's going to bubble by sand, as that's going to be the game, since I am Scarf Keldeo, as the the quick attack is not going to take me out, as the Moonblast is going to take him out, as, yeah, that's going to be the game. So yeah, so he goes on T-Tar, he kills me with a Scarf Stone Edge, but however, I do have Scarf Keldeo with Secret Sword, so that's going to be the very clutch 1-0 in my favor, as we are now going to be moving on to round 3 of OST. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Hopefully I end up making it even farther than round 3 into OST. That would be pretty cool. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed these Pokemon Oras OU OST matches, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button. And if you guys want to see more OST/Showdown lives and stuff, make sure to go ahead and smash that like button. Or at least tell me that you want them in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time.